Hey, I'm Pastor Rod. Thanks for joining us today. I hope this message makes a difference for you.
In spring 2002, Heidi and I had been married for 3 years, and she was pregnant with our first child. And it may have become the lowest point of our time in ministry. Up until that point, everything had been going great. We worked at a Christian university that paid us and gave us a free place to live. We loved our jobs, and we felt like we would be there for a really long time. And then it all came crashing down. We went into our annual job review believing the best. The time with the boss went great. We had some areas to improve, but overall it was good. We were completely unprepared when she looked at us and asked, "So when are you leaving?" Leaving? We didn't understand. Well, she'd believed that we were resigning that year, and before confirming with us, she had already hired our replacement. Stunned, I asked if we were being fired, and she said, "No, you're not being fired, you're leaving." We were hurt, we were confused. I confess I was angry. We fought for our jobs. After numerous conversations, she finally admitted she'd made a mistake, but there was nothing she could do, and she gave us until June to find a new place to live. So a month or so before Morgan was born, we were unemployed and about to be homeless. Devastated doesn't even begin to describe what we were feeling. A few months later, we came down here to Little Rock to interview with the Assemblies of God to become a minister. Waiting for our turn by ourselves in the office, we were barely holding it together. And I hoped no one would ask me the question, "So how are you doing?" At that moment, Rod Loy walked by. He stopped and he looked in and he said, "Hello, how are you doing?" I had basically lied to everyone else who had asked me that question. But for whatever reason, I couldn't lie to him, which was funny, because at that point, we barely even knew who he was. He was in the office for a different meeting, and I don't know why he walked by that day. I don't know why he asked us that question, and I don't know why we answered with the truth, but we did. And as he listened, he encouraged us, he prayed for us, and then he walked out the door with Heidi and I crying. The whole thing lasted less than 15 minutes. We didn't see him again for over a year. Now, at the time, he had no idea the importance of that moment of kindness for a young couple. And moments of kindness are like that. Simple for the person being kind, life-changing for the person receiving kindness. And as we've studied the fruit of the Spirit, we've seen this over and over again. God's Spirit transforms us, and the result is a new life that the God's presence is evidenced in how we live. 17 years ago, when Pastor Rod spoke to us, his kindness was the evidence that God and the Spirit were in his life. And Paul himself talked a lot about kindness. And for him, it was a vital element of what it meant to be a follower of Jesus. And while we need the Holy Spirit to help us be kind, we still have some personal responsibility to develop kindness. Because Paul also said in Ephesians chapter 4, be kind and compassionate to one another. Be kind is an imperative. Just as in Christ God forgave you, do this, have this. And then in Colossians chapter 3, Paul said, therefore as God's chosen people, holy and dearly loved, clothe yourself with compassion, kindness, humility, gentleness, and patience. Paul told us to clothe ourselves with kindness, to put kindness on. And Peter confirmed it. In 2 Peter chapter 1, he says, for this reason, make every effort to add to your faith. And he goes through a list: goodness, knowledge, and to knowledge, self-control, perseverance, godliness, and to godliness, what are those next two words? Brotherly kindness, and to brotherly kindness, love. We are to add it and to make every effort to be kind. Now, the Bible's view of kindness is very different from our world's view in our culture. Our world seems to reward and expect harshness and cruelty more than kindness, doesn't it? Kindness, in fact, has become so rare, it's given rise to a movement called the Random Acts of Kindness. In 1982, Ann Herbert introduced the idea of non-planned, inconsistent acts of kindness where the person being kind, well, they had no benefit. She called it random acts of kindness. The random occurrence of kind acts was celebrated, encouraged, and we were challenged to do it. Now, I don't want to take anything away from what's been done and the good things that have happened as part of random acts of kindness. However, it is sad that kindness has become so rare that its randomness is celebrated. Kindness for followers of Jesus shouldn't be random. It should be normal. It should be every day. It should be an all the time approach. And working on this message and studying this fruit, I was challenged to come up with a different way to think about it, a different way to refer to it. Rather than the first word that came to my mind was strategic. Rather than random kindness, we should have strategic acts of kindness. But I'll confess that didn't sound right. Strategic kindness was close, but it sounded fake. It almost sounded corporate. It's close, but it's not what I was looking for. Because, well, you see, when I think about kindness, I think of people like John Featherston. John's 18. He's about to graduate high school. And at Metro Thanksgiving, a man walked in that night who wasn't wearing shoes. Now, it was cold that night. And John felt God speak to him to give that man his own shoes he was wearing. So John went up to him and he learned the other man's name was also John. And he said, I knew at that moment, this is God. God wanted me to do this. And so he took off his shoes and gave them to the homeless man. Now, that wasn't a predetermined strategy. John saw a need. He saw his ability to meet the need, and he responded to the Spirit's speaking to him. Now, at some point in his life, I believe John chose to be kind. So on some level, there is some planning in the decision to live a life of kindness. That's another reason I don't like the word random. Because random kind of sounds like kindness just happens. Or that when you feel like it, you can be kind. Well, fruit isn't random. Fruit doesn't accidentally and just sort of grow on a tree. It's a deliberative, natural process. It doesn't spontaneously appear. And kindness doesn't spontaneously appear for us. I don't want my kindness to be every now and then, do you? If strategic kindness didn't work, then I went back to a word I used a while ago and I thought, well, what about normal kindness? Normal kindness, that works. But yeah, normal doesn't work either, does it? I mean, there's nothing normal or ordinary about a life of kindness. It's extraordinary, if anything. During Christmas Lane this last year, Sharon Hall watched extraordinary kindness take place. Now, during Christmas Lane, thousands of people come here for free family fun. And we have the chance to build a bridge of relationship with them, to share Jesus Christ and demonstrate His love. And if you remember, this year was really cold. Like Friday night, it was in the low 30s, and I know the Hornell campus is watching, you're like, 30s is not cold. Well, here in the South, 30s is frigid. And it was raining, and there was a wind that was blowing. It was bitter cold. And a teenager came with some friends, and it was her first time here, and she had on jeans and a short-sleeved t-shirt and no jacket. She was standing outside in the cold when one of our volunteers walked up to her and said, would you like to have my jacket? And she was shocked when this individual took off his black suede jacket, took off his gloves, and gave them to her, and then walked away. Now, I don't know who that volunteer was, but he got the point of Christmas Lane. It's not about Christmas lights and funnel cakes. Well, it's a little bit about funnel cakes, but it's not about Christmas lights and funnel cakes and pics and all that with Santa. What it is, it's about the opportunity to show kindness and love to people. It's about the opportunity to tell them about Jesus and build a bridge of relationship so that their life can be transformed. I don't know who that person was, but that person got it. So rather than random or strategic, normal, or even ordinary kindness, I finally arrived at something I liked. It's my creation. You might have a better one, but for me, followers of Jesus Christ should have continual kindness, not random. It isn't random. It's not exceptional. Continual kindness is the purposeful, relentless, compassionate way followers of Jesus treat others. Continual kindness is expressed in the way you talk to someone. It's how you treat people as much as what you say. Continual kindness isn't kindness when it's convenient or when others are watching or you actually might benefit from it. It's a lifestyle created by the Holy Spirit and then carefully developed through purposeful interactions, especially with people who are vulnerable. Now, if you're like me, you want to be a kind person. And so how do you develop continual kindness? And so over the next few moments, I want to help do this. And if this is a weak area in your life, you're going to learn some ways, not only some principles, but some opportunities you can have to be a part of kindness ministries here at First NLR. In your bullets, and if you'll grab it, right next to your handout, there's a card that looks like this. Everybody grab it and get it out if you're here in the service. There's a ministry match card. It lists the ministries that I'm going to talk about, plus several others. And if the Lord speaks to you or you think this would be a place where you can get involved, I want you to mark down the information. And when you leave today, there are ministry match tables in both lobbies where you can drop this off. Or if you're watching online, you can respond and be a part of that there. So how do you become continually kind? Well, first, continually kind people see hurting people others miss. You see hurting people others miss. I wonder how many times we miss kindness opportunities because of the busyness of our lives. We're so focused on the other things, we don't see people hurting around us. Years ago, when Pastor Rod walked by Heidi and I, it would have been understandable if he just kept walking, but he saw us. Seeing people requires we slow down and we look for people. The homeless ministry at First NLR, well, they do this really well. Recent studies estimate that there are over 2,500 homeless people in Arkansas. And with so many of them surrounding us, it's easy to no longer to see them. And the homeless team chooses to see them. Each week, there's several opportunities for you to work with the homeless. Saturdays at 10 a.m., a team cooks for the homeless. Thursday and Friday nights at the Metro campus, there's services for the homeless. There's Celebrate Recovery for them where you can help. One of the coolest kindness ministries at our church is the group that goes every week to the river market and reads the Bible to homeless people. They sit on benches, hand out bananas, and read the Bible. Now, you can do that. And when you see people, you have to do something. You have to make space for them in your life. And it means using your own experiences to help people in need. DJ Walker is great at math. He's tutored and helped several of our students. And other reality staff members have opened up their homes to students to come and hang out. They create space in their lives, and they use what they have to be kind. And so where can you create space in your life? New Life Church in Hornell, through their program, has fed hundreds of people in their community. Numerous people in our church have become foster care parents. James chapter 1:27 says, pure religion undefiled is caring for widows and orphans in their time of need. At the beginning of this month, there were over 300 children in foster care waiting for a family to come spend a few weeks with. Would you consider joining the families in our church who have opened up their homes to children with nowhere to go through no fault of their own? Now you say, Randy, I can't foster. I can't do that. But could you possibly volunteer and help out some of our First NLR families with support or respite care? That's what my wife and I have done. It's where you can help out by watching their children for an extended period of time or helping them with meals. You also show continual kindness when you are patient with people who frustrate you. You see, Paul actually linked kindness with patience in 2 Corinthians 6:6. Kindness is expressed when you are gentle and patient with people who drive you crazy. So who frustrates you? Who gets on your nerves? Is the person at work? The person you're sitting next to? No, wait, don't respond. Is it a family member? You see, being kind to the person who treats you great is easy. Being kind to the person who annoys you, now that's a fruit of the Spirit. And it's not easy. Because we will always be in difficult situations. We'll always have difficult moments. We'll always have difficult people. My wife, Heidi, works in the early childhood ministry. The nursery has kids from 0 to birth to 2 years, and backyard team works with 3, 4, and 5-year-olds. It's a fantastic place where children are loved and the gospel is shared, and the team that works there is skilled and compassionate and kind workers. But it isn't always easy. They love children even when they make messes during potty training. There are diapers in the nursery. And they love the children when they clean up their messes. They love and they share Jesus even when they throw temper tantrums. Some kids need, for whatever reason, may need some extra grace and love, and that's why God's placed them there. Heidi told me God challenged her to be kind, even with children who push her to frustration. She was to love them regardless of how they responded. And you can do the same. Join the team. Yeah, there are dirty diapers. There's going to be lots of dirty diapers. There might even be some crying. But there are also times of joy and an opportunity to imprint the love of Jesus on a young life that will grow inside of them for the rest of their lives. You can be a difference maker in the nursery or in the backyard. But Pastor Randy, I don't know if I can do it. Don't worry, we'll train you. After you've filled out a background check, we'll show you what to do. But it's more than just that. Being patient with people that frustrate you is essential. It's an essential part of kindness. If there's someone at work who frustrates you, show them kindness. This week, buy them Starbucks and bring it to them. And I felt you all cringe even as I said that. Like I really did. It was an audible, like your tenseness in the room. Write an encouraging note to the person who annoys you. Go out of your way to demonstrate kindness to the person who pushes your buttons. In a life of continual kindness also means that you forgive people who haven't earned it. When someone offends or hurts you, you have to forgive them. Remember what we read in Ephesians 4:32 earlier? Be kind and compassionate to one another, forgiving each other just as Christ God forgave you. In 1 Thessalonians 5, he said it this way: make sure nobody pays back wrong for wrong, but always try to be kind to each other and to everyone else. Kindness is displayed when you release someone from the offense they did to you. Instead of getting revenge, give kindness. When they do wrong, you do right. And you know what? Doing this will actually help you. See, when you're kind, it benefits everyone, including you. And this isn't just biblical. Studies show it's physiological as well. Brooke Jones's study on kindness and its effects led her to this conclusion. Let me read you her words. We all know that when we commit an act of kindness or receive one, we feel good. There's an increase in oxytocin, serotonin, and dopamine, as well as a decrease in cortisol. Now, I have no idea what that means, but hang with me. We're going to get there, I think. But what most people don't know is that the person who witnesses an act of kindness has the same physiological response in their body with the same increases and decreases in those chemicals. Oxytocin, serotonin, and dopamine are feel-good chemicals that aid in lowering blood pressure, improving overall heart health, and they help us feel calmer and less depressed. Cortisol is the stress hormone that has been found to decrease in the bloodstream when people regularly participate in kind acts. This has nothing to do with the Bible or church, but do you want to lower your blood pressure and improve your heart health? Start being kind to people. Quit being mean. You should join one of these ministries. It could save your life. I'm glad you thought so, because I worked on it all week. Continual kindness. Continual kindness is revealed when you remember people others have forgotten. When you remember people others have forgotten. Several years ago, I got to know Doyne Herring. Doyne was 91 years old when he died. He was a leader in our church, but his health stopped him from coming for the last several years. I went and hung out with him quite a bit over the last 3 years, and I've listened to him tell stories about the choirs he sang in and the people who've come to our church. I treasure those memories. Like Doyne, there are dozens of people in our church who are homebound. And even though they can't attend now, they are still part of our church family. The homebound team calls and visits and writes cards to them. If you can write a card, if you can take the time to make a phone call, or you can visit, you can be on this ministry team. These acts of kindness say, we won't forget you. When you came into the building, you're most likely greeted by a smiling, friendly face. Our greeter team is one of the first ways we show kindness. They smile, they give out bulletins, they open the door for people. Well, I don't know if I can do that, Pastor Andy. Is there any special training or ways you can show me what to do? Well, you're in luck, because we have actually scheduled our first ever How to Be Nice at the Church greeter training. I know those of you at Hornell are watching, and those of you online are watching as well, and you're like, when is this meeting? It is right now. We have scheduled the meeting for this service. So here's what I'm doing. Everybody in the room, please stand up. You're in the first ever How to Be Nice at Church training. Okay, some of you need to get off your phones, quit playing the game, put it down, because you're going to need your hands here a little bit. So now I want you to get this. This first step in how to be nice at church is so significant, so important, so strategic that if you mess this part up, it's a disaster from here on down, okay? And it starts with this first piece, this first thing. And we're going to take our time with step one, because step one is so key. It's so important to this process that if you mess it up, who knows what's going to happen. And so I'm going to share with you, it's one word. It's an important word. It's a strategic word. It's one word. And here's the word. It's hello. Okay, so practice. I want you to say it with me on the count of three. 1, 2, 3. Hello. Okay, all right. It's a little strong there. That was a little, you yelled. You do that in the lobby, someone's going to turn around, get back in their car, and move away. So let's amp it down just a little bit. Let's do it more of a friendly sort of 1, 2, 3. Hello, hello. Okay, one more time. 1, 2, 3. Hello. Okay, you're this crowd. You're doing pretty good. So you're a little bit faster learner. So we're going to move to step 2. We're going to up the work here just a bit. We're going to add a step before it, and this is smile. Okay, so some of you, again, this is going to be a stretch, but go for it. So step 1, smile. Step 2, hello. All right, see, you fumbled the ball right there. It was just like New Orleans. Right, here we go. All right, ready? Okay, ready? On the count of 3, we're gonna go in order. 1, 2, 3, smile. 1, 2, 3, hello. 1, 2, 3, smile. 1, 2, 3, hello. All right. We're going to put it together. We're going to smile and say hello at the same time. Okay, ready? On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Hello. See there. Did you see the energy that was added to it just by smiling? All right, now here's where this is AP. This is extra credit. This is senior. This is it. We're going to do another step. Okay, ready? We're going to add the third step. This is it. It's reaching and extending your hand. Okay, see that? Just extending your hand. Okay, ready? Together with me, extend your hand, right? Just shake their hand. Okay, ready? It's like that. You got it right there. You don't want to do this. You hit them in the face. It's not going to work. It's just like right here, right? Okay, ready? Now we're going to do it together. All 3 of them. We're going to smile, say hello, and extend our hand. Are you ready? Smile. Hello. Extend your hand. Smile. Hello. Extend your hand. All right. Now I want you, for the next few moments, to try it without hurting anybody in the service tonight. So I want you to find 3 to 5 people, and I want you to practice being friendly. On your mark, get set, go. All right, make your way back to your seat, being friendly as you go. Awesome. So you can sit down. You've just completed the first official How to Be Nice at Church training it. If you'll just take your card now and mark the greeter box for us and drop it off. Pastor Brian will be excited for that. Great job. When my friends come to our church, one of my favorite things to show them is the Cool Kids and the Cool Teens ministry. Every week, kids with special needs worship with us on their own specially designed area. When others look away from those who have special needs, we embrace them. There's a place for you to show kindness in Cool Teens and Cool Kids. Each week, the Share Your Lunch team takes the food donations you drop in bins and makes bags for people. They make sure there's enough bags for people each week at our services. And that goes right into what continual kindness also means. It's you help people who can do nothing for you. A couple Saturday nights ago, we had a first-time guest. Stephanie Sides met her. When she learned she was new, Stephanie sat with her during service so she wouldn't be alone. Then she took her to the guest center. When the lady said she was bringing her family back the next day on Sunday, Stephanie came back to church on Sunday to sit with them so they wouldn't be by themselves again. Helping people not feel alone, well, that's kindness. Thursday nights, you see this on our Metro campus. Ministry of kindness is a huge part of what happens there. There are ministries to the homeless, to prostitutes, to kids and students every week. Our church's valet ministry is really good at this. This team meets people who are older and parks their cars for them. And when they're ready to leave, they're sitting out there waiting on them. If you can drive a car and you can park it, you can join the valet team. Every week, people are picked up and brought to church through bus ministry. Pastor Lane Mason said we could bring more people to church. We've got the buses. We just need drivers. Can you drive and pick up someone and bring them to church? Amistad is our ministry to Latinos in Central Arkansas. Each week, classes are taught on civics and English and the Bible. Pastor Randy, I don't speak Spanish. No problemo. Melva Hobbs is one of our volunteers. Because of our security system, the doors have to stay locked. So Melva's role at Amistad on Tuesday nights, she opens the door all night long for people coming into the building. What an act of significant continual kindness. It reminds me of Psalm 84:10. You remember that verse? I'd rather be a doorkeeper in the house of the Lord than to dwell in the tents of wickedness. While the rest of society wants to attack and alienate people because of their race or their culture, we show kindness when we help people who can't do anything for us. Our kindness is revealed when we help them learn English and work through the classes to citizenship. We extend our hands, not our fists, not our rhetoric. We do the right thing because it's the kind thing.